Good day, you're watching The Spice here on Leadership TV. It's another exciting episode because we'll be delving into the spotlight with Afrobeats queen Tiwa Savage, from talking about Rumours with Wizkid to, talking about Davido addressing a tricky situationship and also reflecting on her tape scandal. Tiwa is laying it all out there. We'll also be looking at Mrs. Chioma Adeleke getting a new gift from her husband, Davido Adeleke, and also social media sensation and influencer Mandy Keys finally breaking the Guinness World Record as the first Nigerian to be rejected by the Guinness World Record. This and more we'll be looking at on the show today. So you want to watch till the very tail end and stay here with me. Please do well to like, share our content, and also leave a comment. I will definitely love to hear from you. All right, let's get right into the juicy details. We know that Tiwa is on a media run for her album This One Is Personal. Of course, it was released on the 29th of August this year, but of course she's still going on podcasts, she's still going on radio stations for her media rounds. And of course, she was in the US a few days ago on the Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God, and of course Just Hilarious, and she addressed a few controversies that she has found herself in recently. Well, let's start with she addressing the romance rumors with Wizkid and also a situationship. We know a few days ago she appeared on a podcast where she talked about a romance with a celebrity where they kind of had an understanding. They couldn't go out together. He had to go out with a different woman, and then even when they are together in an event, they don't come together, they don't live together. And even when her friends advised her on how negative that relationship was, she felt like they were on the same page, but she didn't know that she was being used. And then she reflected on it and said when she thinks about it today, she feels so used, she feels like she was stupid. And getting to hear that some people are alleging that the person she was talking about in that podcast was Wizkid, she tried to clear the air and said, okay, it's not Wizkid, I'm cool with Wizkid, we talk, I love the guy, he's one of my persons, but it's definitely not Wizkid. She kind of tried to clear the air, and address all allegations and say, okay, if people are thinking that this is Wizkid, though, it's not Wizkid I'm talking about. Let's listen to a bit of that snippet from that interview and we'll come and also talk about a lot more things she spoke about.
You did.
Davido. We know that throughout last year, Davido and Tiwa Savage were going at it. That was when Davido was having his issue with his baby mama, Sophia Momodu, and the fact that they were involved in a court case with Sophia Momodu not allowing him to see their daughter, Imade. And, Tiwa Savage talked about it being a misunderstanding because she went to a social gathering, she saw Sophia Momodu, and they were just drinking together, doing snap and just taking pictures, and it was a vibe. And Davido somehow got to see videos of that and interpreted it as Tiwa Savage taking a side because the timeline was kind of coincidental. He felt like at that very period where he was in a court fracas with his baby mama, that shouldn't have been when Tiwa Savage was in that kind of gathering with Davido. That kind of looked like she, or rather Tiwa, was taking Sophia Momodu's side. Tiwa Savage talked about, growing up, maybe not growing up, just coming up and seeing Davido. She sees Davido as her junior brother, and they are cool together. They once lived in the same house, and then seeing her in that situation, it looked like she was in support of what the baby mama was doing. But then also, let's take it back to a few, or rather last year also, when Davido was also at the Breakfast Club in that interview, and he addressed, the fracas with Tiwa Savage and the fact that she had to put a police complaint against him. And Davido said he would never allow any harm to come to Tiwa because she was like a senior, an elder sister to him. They lived together in a part of Lagos. She watched him grow in his music career. So he definitely would not harm her. He didn't know where, she read a statement or felt threatened in a way. But also in that interview, Tiwa Savage kind of shed a lot more light into why she put out that police complaint against Davido, because it had to do with a lot more people. Maybe not Davido harming her directly, but when it comes to crew members, it's always like somebody wanting to show loyalty. Maybe Davido's crew member or friend wanting to show loyalty, and then Tiwa Savage having a crew also, and it could just turn into a whole, bloodfest or, whatever fight. So that was why she put out that police complaint. Not like she felt like Davido was going to harm her in any way. But then that period was very intense because these are two people that I really loved. Our Afrobeats king, Davido, and our very, African bad girl, Tiwa Savage, going at it because of Sophia Momodu. Those were trying times, but I'm happy that they can talk about it in interviews and it won't be as intense as, we got to see it online. But let us listen to what she had to say in that interview.
We had Davido here on the show.
Oh God!
Well, he mentioned while he was here that that
I saw a clip.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah.
What happened between you and Tiwa Savage, man? I know y'all were like really, really close. Like
that's
mad
my sister,
close.
man. She cool.
Okay.
Man, like I said, you know what I'm saying. Even with the big three question you asked me, you know what I'm saying. I remember when all of us, you know what I'm saying, coming up together. You know what I'm saying. Me and Tiwa used to stay in the same house.
Yeah.
That's big sis. Like, you know what I'm saying. She saw me as a youngin'. You know what I'm saying? But the situation with Tiwa was, was like kind of personal. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
She's very, very good friends with the mom of my daughter, my first daughter, which, we were in court having custody.
And they've gone to the same school since they were 1. They're 10 now. I've known David before that, but I've naturally grown a relationship with the mother of their kid. And I didn't really know that there was issues. I mean, I know that he's moved on and he's married, whatever, but I don't know what's going on apart from that. And I guess I was at an event and she was too, so naturally, like, hey, how are you, da da da, we're partying, drinking, doing snap and whatever. And he saw that and he took it as train him. And I'm like, what? How? Like, what's going on? And that's why I said I think it was a misunderstanding. Like, he felt like I knew what was happening and I was on her side, and that's not the case. Like, this is just a woman that I know who's the mother to my son's friend, and we were at a social gathering and I see her and we're chilling. So, and even if I did know, I don't think I would have chosen a side either. Like, I don't think I'm going to be.
Moving on now, Tiwa Savage also opened up on not wanting to love again and on healed trauma. The fact that, being a divorcee, she had been married before she had a child, but that does not kind of, clear up whatever hurt she used to have in the past when it comes to love and relationship. She's still scared of falling in love. And it's like when she meets somebody and, they just get it going on, that trauma kind of just rises out of hand. She begins to question that person's actions. Like, okay, won't it happen again? The trauma that I used to have, won't I see it repeating itself again? And that, goes to show that some of these celebrities, people that we look up to, they also have their unhealed traumas. They also have their stories, the fears that when it comes to human relationships and the fact that they are not satisfied with some aspects of their life. Sometimes we look at them on our TV screens and we think that life is so perfect. But that's why I always advocate for, when it comes to addressing celebrities online, just address them as normal people. All the trolling, all the insults, all the judgments. What if somebody puts your life under a camera for 24 hours or for years now, speaking on these celebrities, because they've been in the public eye for a very long time? So what if somebody does that and also judges you? How are you going to feel? Let us listen to what Tiwa has to say about unhealed traumas and also falling in love.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way for real?
I really do.
What?
Yeah.
You gotta be careful what you say to the universe now.
Yeah, I know, and I just that place was dark, you know. It was for me to I'm scared that someone's gonna come or the right person's gonna come, and I'm just gonna project my trauma on them. Yeah, that's because I'm going to give everything. I'm really honestly going to give everything, and can I really do that again? And just unless God opens up the heavens and says, "This is my child. This is who you're supposed to be with." I can't see myself opening up like that again.
But if God is, if you know that,
Yeah, I love my son.
yes, absolutely.
I love my team. I love my friends. I've been married before. I'm not young. I'm good.
But you love other things,
Like
penis. I'm just saying. Like,
I don't know if
and those come attached to men.
I've gone like maybe like 3 years without. It's not something like I really like. I'm crazy about.
Wait,
Yeah.
365 days times
Three. Yeah. I've done that.
I know this is the part a lot of us have been waiting for when it comes to Tiwa addressing her leaked tape scandal. We know that was a trying time for her. A lot of people had a lot to say. Judgments. Oh, you are a mother. You are African bad girl. You are a celebrity. You are old enough. Why did you make this kind of mistake? Da, 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 da. A lot of tongues were wagging. Well, Tiwa addressed it now and said that relationship, although that relationship doesn't exist anymore. But it was a situation of he wanted to click send on Snap and he wanted to send it to her and somehow he broadcasted it by mistake. But, obviously she later found out that it was a bet between him and his friends. But I have a lot of questions. I know everybody has a lot of questions. Like, what kind of person is that? What kind of human being is that? Was he a younger person? Was he an older person? Was that person out to get her? Somebody that would place that kind of bet on hers when they're in a relationship. Like, what kind of person is that? But let us listen to her and I'll still, come back to talk a lot more about this, situation.
Me trying was just like, it was just too traumatic for me to keep talking about it and just, like I said, I just wanted to
Move on.
just move on from it.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
No, thank you, Mom.
But I think it's also, you're from Nigeria, so it's like, it's very religious and
Yeah.
so it's like they probably was a lot harder on you than
Yo, they were like, how can you at your age have a sex tape with someone? And I'm like, first of all, I didn't even know. Like, you could, don't watch it, but I didn't know it was happening. And the person was my boyfriend at the time. So even if I wanted to do a sex tape, that was my boyfriend. But they saw it as being immoral. They thought it was just dirty. And I'm like, I know what some of you guys do is even worse.
Well, this question is on my mind. How vulnerable, could Tiwa have been to have found herself in that very situation? It's the same thing when we talk about celebrities. It seems they have to be extra careful because the people you think are your friends that will protect you or your lovers, they're actually the ones that will sell you out. Because how can you even explain something like this? You are trying to click send and somehow you broadcasted it, or, you placed a bet with your friends, with the woman you love, maybe because she's a celebrity, or they doubted that you were dating her and somehow you filmed your intimate moments. And what did you actually stand to gain? But then all the insults and all the name calling, oh, you are a mother, you are older. I'm happy it's a thing of the past and something she can actually, move ahead from now. But let's talk about Chioma Adeleke living the soft baby girl life because her husband, our very own Davido, just gifted her the brand new 2025 G-Wagon. I'm talking about G508EQ. Yes, we know on her birthday a few months ago, she was gifted a G-Wagon, but now she was given the updated version. So I know a lot of people have a lot to say when it comes to Chioma. Leave Davido. He's this, he's a cheat, he's that, he doesn't love you, please leave. Okay, Chioma should leave Davido for who? For you? I don't understand. It seems like every day Davido wakes up in the morning and looks for what to do to shut people's mouth up, or to just to laugh at people or just to shame everybody that had something negative to say about his relationship, especially when they were going through the tough times with Davido cheating here, left, right, center, the whole baby mama scandal. Yes, I'm calling it for what it is. And a lot of people wondered what Chioma saw in him. You know, we really don't know what the glue is that joins these two people together, but I love what I see. They recently just got married and it seems that love is still in the air for them. Well, congratulations to Mrs. Chioma Adeleke. Continue living the soft life, you deserve it. Well, on a final note now, Nigerians are just something else, really. With Hilda Basi, you know, being a 2-time Guinness World Record holder when it comes to cooking, it seems like Nigerians, the Guinness World Record will be tired of us, because once Hilda does something, it's like somebody stands up and say, okay, I want to break the record for reading this book. I want to break a record for sleeping. I want to break a record for crying. You know, people just come up with something. Well, social media sensation Mandy Kiss woke up a few days ago and decided that she wanted to break the record in Nigeria for sleeping with 100 men, or rather having sex. Let me call it for what it is. Having sex with 100 men, you know, in one day. And everywhere was buzzing. People were dragging her left, right, and center. But of course, some men were actually on her side and said, okay, Mandy, just give us the location. Give us the location and we'll be right there, all right? Whatever location you place, will come and support you, will come and contribute to your attempt. Well, Guinness World Record had to respond immediately and said, okay, we don't monitor such categories. Guinness had to wash their hands out of it and said, I beg, would not dig this pit for us. We are not a party to this kind of attempt. All right, sleeping with 100 men in one day, it has nothing to do with, you know, our company. If you want to do that, you do that on your own. But it was a case of you cannot shame the shameless. It seems like Mandy Kiss just wakes up every day and looks for a way to trend. There are days she makes content and she's talking about being a prostitute or being a sex worker or what have you. Tomorrow she wakes up and says, oh, I'm a born again. I've given my life to Christ. I actually thought she was born again, you know. Maybe last year I saw a video where she was saying, okay, I'm tired of this kind of life. I've given my life to Christ. 2025 came and we saw Mandy Kiss going, or rather they say she has collected her life back. And then this particular attempt she's trying to make when it comes to Guinness World Record is just outrageous. It's really surprising. We don't know if it was cloud chasing, if she was, you know, really meaning to go ahead with this. Supposing, you know, she got the support. You know, it's very funny in this part of the world, especially when it comes to some of these social media influencers. They bring up something so let me not say creative, something so shocking, and you'll be surprised to see the amount of support they would get. Well, I was wondering where Mandy Kiss was going to take this to, but it seems Guinness World Record, with that response of them not monitoring this category, has shut whatever plans she had down. Yes. They kind of poured water on the flames, and of course people have been dragging her left, right, center and saying, okay, you're the first Nigerian, but it's being rejected by Guinness World Record. So if you want to trend, just find something else to trend with. But it's been exciting here on Despite on Leadership TV. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll be back next week with another interesting episode with more trending and juicy entertainment story, of course, from the pop culture. Please do stay here with us on Leadership TV. I'm still Cynthia Onado. Bye.
Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and country. Be part of our brand.